brand new edition of T Watches a Scary Movie. My name is T, and of course we are talking scary movies. I appreciate you tuning in for another brand new episode. Remember, new episodes are always guaranteed to go up every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. But as I put out a bunch of extra horror content all throughout the week, the best way to stay on top of all of that is to get subscribed to my link tree. And you can do that by going to linktr.ee/T Scary Movie. If you get subscribed to my link tree, that's going to give you access to my YouTube page for the video versions of the show, to your favorite podcasting platforms, the audio only versions of the show, to my Letterboxd page for my written reviews and my movie rankings throughout the year, to my TikTok page for my short horror content, including movie news and movie premieres, to my Twitch page, you can watch me game, and to my Fangoria shop page where you can enjoy my 20% off discount on anything in the Fangoria shop, including the physical magazine subscription. So hit that subscribe button, especially if you're watching on YouTube, as the more subscribers I get, the more content I can put out for you. And y'all, it's been a great week already. We got a chance to talk about the most recent episode of Interview with the Vampire. I'm still keeping up with the After Dark Horror Fest Year 3 as well too, but want to take a little bit of a break, want to hit something new, and a good friend of mine, Donut, pointed out that I needed to go and check out this film that just hit Tubi that came at the right time, was my kind of project, and that me and a bunch of our other friends would absolutely love. And Donut, you were absolutely right about this one. Absolutely fabulous, folks. Tonight I'm going to be talking Killer Body Count. That's right, Killer Body Count is what's coming for you here in movie reviews. And let's just jump right on into things. If you haven't seen the trailer for this one, Killer Body Count tells the story of Cami George, who is sent away to a biblical or a Christian, a conservative, whatever you want to call it. It's basically a camp for troubled teens who are a little bit friskier than what their parents would like. And when Cami gets to this camp, her and the other girls there will soon learn that there is a killer loose running around trying to get all of them for their carnal desires that they have. And that is Killer Body Count. Now, from the jump of what I just got done saying here, y'all, there's something that you should really pick out of that. That's the word camp, because you send a bunch of teenagers to a camp. We're in the summer right now. You debut this at the start of the summer, and there's a killer running around at it. That is recipe for success, folks. Give us a camp, give us a slasher, put those two things together, we are golden. And Killer Body Count absolutely takes advantage of that premise. For starters, though, it is very important to mark out the fact that Danishka Esterhazy is the director of this film. If you've heard of that name, she's behind such recent classics as the Banana Splits movie and one of my absolute favorites, the Slumber Party Massacre sequel, reboot, remake, whatever you want to call it. Now, I've talked about that Slumber Party Massacre remake before on the show here. Y'all, that is such a good movie. That is such a good movie because the assignment was very much understood from that film that, look, it's not like this movie, The Slumber Party Massacre, was ever taken that seriously. If you go back and look at that franchise, it is a franchise that's a really, really well done one. I'm a big fan of the second one, but Esterhazy's remake, reboot, sequel, whatever you want to call it, fit right in with those films, honestly, because it kind of made fun of them. It was a bit of a parody, but then it also took that and put out a fun, kind of creepy slasher with it as well, too. And she's continuing that with Killer Body Count, because we already know this setup. If you're a horror person, you have a bunch of teenagers at a camp that might as well be a summer camp. We're already in prime real estate at that point. And the fact that if you've seen Slumber Party Massacre, you know, Suzanne Kelly's script very much flipped things on its head with that film, to where we were now watching this movie from the female gaze as opposed to the male gaze, which is what the old Slumber Party Massacre movies are really being, like, that's the way they're kind of shot. But of course, this is coming from the viewpoint of a guy looking at all this. And so if you go back and watch Slumber Party Massacre, one of the best parts of it is how much it will it will literally come up and just like kill your expectations of what these kind of movies are going to be, including a scene that they actually do again in this one here. They do this male shower scene in Slumber Party Massacre, which it's very much played for laughs, but it's fantastic. And they actually go with one of the same type of things in this movie as well, but they go with a Porky's reference with like the peephole into the shower, which it's so good. Please, Miss Esterhazy, keep making these movies because you're amazing at them. They are hilarious and they still manage to be quite brutal, quite gory, and quite action-filled. Like, you're giving us the full course meal in these movies. We came to eat and we absolutely ate getting to watch this for sure. So I have to jump there. If you've enjoyed our director's previous films, this is gonna fall right in line with it. It's very much a fun, like, black comedy is almost the realms that it goes to. Because yeah, there's somebody running around trying to kill all these teenagers in a mask, and they're all being punished for having sex. But there's something very dark and humorous about all this as well too. And I love the fact that that Jessica Landry's script for Killer Body Count doesn't put any kind of blame really on our lead characters, because we know that at least Cami, our main character, her dad in this situation is absolutely the asshole, absolutely the guy coming at this all wrong. You know, we get this story that Cami, played by Cassiel Eatock-Winnik, you know, they lost her mom recently and she very much holds on to that, and that, you know, there might be a bit of an implication that part of her discovering herself, discovering her body and her desires and everything, a little bit of that is coming from the loss of her mom, and maybe a little bit of it's acting out. But we have to understand here in 2024 as well too, that people a little bit more in tune with what they want to do and what they want just in general at this, like, in this kind of age. And I know the movie is extremism for sure. Like, these camps out there absolutely exist and kids are unfortunately being put in them, but thankfully for a movie like this, we get a little bit of a catharsis with that as well too, because we show that all the teens that are here at this camp, they're not remorseful, they're not trying to repent, they're not trying to immediately turn their lives over to Jesus, because that's the way that it's set up. It's that, look, anything else besides turning your life to Jesus is you in the wrong, and you're gonna pay for that, quite literally, because there's a killer running around killing folks who are participating in all of this dirty carnal desires. I don't know, the movie does such a good job with that without being preachy in the least bit. I felt that it was actually empowering to watch, like, these, like, young girls be in charge of what they want to do. And again, very much turning it on its head, kind of like Slumber Party Massacre did, to where they're at a camp. Clearly, these are a bunch of horny teens, and usually in a lot of these films, it would be the boys who are really leading the charge and, you know, trying to set all these things up and get laid and everything. And this time around, it's the girls doing that. And I love that we've left that era of the late 70s and like the 80s to where this can only be a male-dominated category, and this can only be presented as if guys are the only ones that can do this in these kind of films. Because, hey, everybody's a freak at some point, right? So getting the other side of things works out so well for this movie. It makes it absolutely hilarious, makes it that much easier to really empathize with the girls that are here in this situation. And the fact that the only camp counselors that are there are literally the first two counselors we meet when Cami gets to the camp in the first place, it means that we're spending far more time with the teens than we are with anyone else. Now, the downside to that is that if we're trying to work out who this killer honestly is, that very much narrows the field of suspects. So if there's one thing I can say that the movie kind of falters on, it's the fact that we don't really get a gambit of suspects we could put into it, because then you might fall into a situation kind of like they slash them, which we talked about on the show a couple of years ago, to where the issue is that some of the people involved in what was going on there, it didn't make sense for them to be doing that at all. And so the issue here with Killer Body Count is that because our focus is just really on this group of girls, it's not a good sign when we're trying to figure out who the killer is, because there's only a couple places it could really point to. And with this, not gonna throw spoilers out there, but you will absolutely be able to guess the killer and who's involved in this situation before the credits hit. And considering that this movie feels like it's not meant to be taken that seriously, I don't know if that's necessarily a big problem with it, because this movie is very much tongue-in-cheek, which is so interesting because the death scenes are very much not played that way. The death scenes are very much brutal. They're very straightforward, honestly, but everything else in the movie is very much tongue-in-cheek. It's very dark comedy, like I said. It's very much a meta kind of film, honestly, which you'll have a blast with. And y'all, if you've been watching Tubi, you know that the quality of the films they've been putting out has, honestly, it's been up and down, which is a good thing for a free service like that. You don't have to pay anything to go check it out, and you get gems like this sometimes. So this is one you don't want to miss at all. Head on over to Tubi right now and check out Killer Body Count, and let me know in the comment section whether or not you enjoyed it. Did you go and get a chance to check out Slumber Party Massacre as well? Because I gotta hear it, folks. One of the better ones we've had recently. But that is gonna do it for us tonight, y'all. I appreciate you tuning in. Hit that subscribe button because I'm going to be back with more films in the After Dark Horror Fest. We got A Quiet Place Day 1 coming up for you soon. We got a lot of stuff coming your way, folks. Don't want you to miss anything at all. Hit that subscribe button. But my name is T. We've been talking scary movies. Stay scared.
Boy here is a big fan of Fangoria. So, if you want to check out the world's best horror magazine that's out there, get a chance to get yourself your own subscription, which I just got my first one back in 2022, and I don't regret it for a second. But if you want your own Fangoria subscription, or you like the Fangoria merchandise, then head over to the Fangoria shop and use my link if you want to save yourself some money, folks. That's an easy one to remember. Just go to shop.fangoria.com/AXDEW. Again, that's shop.fangoria.com/AXDEW, or use my specific code AXDEW at checkout. You can save 20% off your entire order, and that implies 2 subscription and one-time orders as well. You don't want to miss out, folks, because with the magnitude of horror movies we've had released in the last few years, and with what we have on the horizon, Fangoria is going to be your #1 source for all that great, juicy, bloody information in the world of horror. So again, head to shop.fangoria.com. Hey there, folks! Thanks for tuning in to T Watch This Scary Movie. I appreciate you checking out another review or movie news, whether we're talking movies, TV shows, books, or games, whatever, it's all scary. Remember, you can check out new episodes every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on the YouTube page for video. That's youtube.com/C/Theron Reynolds Scary Movie. Again, youtube.com/C/Theron Reynolds Scary Movie. And you can check out the audio version on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Just search T Watch the Scary Movie or TWASM. Don't forget, my name is T. We've been talking scary movies. Stay scared.